All right, so number one. So what are they asking for again? So write a program to read the values and then produce an output file that contains a transpose, their decimal, and continue on row. So yeah, transpose was when you switched rows and columns, right? Yeah. All right. Okay, let me just pull up the output file as well and the input. All right, so this is the input file that we had. So it's 2.3, 2.0, 2.0, 3.1 for 5, and then it goes on -5, 20.2, yada yada. Yeah, I just copied the one from the test cases. So here's the actual code for it. So you're gonna have to obviously have the stdio and then the stdlib because we're dealing with the rows and columns. Then define rows and columns with 6. Then you have this part right here, which is just everyone knows at this point to open an input file and to write into the output file. Then we're going to have float because the input was in decimals. The array, I'm just calling it A here, and our rows and our columns, which is just this int I and j, and there's going to be a counter. And then I think these two are self-explanatory at this point because we did so many times. And this part's just to open the input file and read it. This part's to write into the output file. And then you're going to have the for loop. You're going to have two of them. So this for loop is going to count the rows. That's where the I was being used. And this one's for the J, for the columns. And then you're going to have these two for loops. So the I is going to it's going to scan everything this way. And the J is going to scan everything that way. Yeah. So once you have these two for loops, you're going to have F scan F, the input file, %F because it's a float, and then the A, the array, I, and J. So that's going to scan everything from the input file, make sure it's in the right order. And then since they wanted in the transpose is just really simple. We just switch to J where the I is and the I where the J is. And then you're going to have another for loop with the same thing as before. I equals 0 is less than the rows, and J is equal to 0 is less than the other columns. Then you just do, it's pretty simple, just do print F out to the output file, %2F because it's a float, and you're going to just switch the I and J, so it's J and I. Then you're also going to want to have this part right here, so it can print the new line, so it's just not all on one line. And then you're going to end it off with F close input F, F close output F. So yeah, I showed you the input file. This is what it looks like. So it's 2.3 to 2. Then this line is -5.0 to 20.2. On the output, on the first line, it should become 2.3, then -5.0. So yeah, 2.3, -5.0. The 2 that was here. So yeah, this 2 is now over here. And the same thing with this one. This is now over here in the output. So does that make sense so far?
Yeah, that makes sense.